Welcome, trendsetters. Trend Trove TV is your ultimate destination for all things informative and trending. Join us on an epic journey through the corridors of the Supreme Court's history, where every vote counts. Discover the top landmark cases decided by the slimmest of margins, just one vote. These pivotal moments shaped our nation's laws and liberties, from civil rights triumphs to battles for individual freedoms. Get ready to witness the power of a single vote and the seismic impact it holds. From the edge of justice to the heart of democracy, let's unravel the stories behind these defining moments in American legal lore. Have you ever wondered how much weight a single vote can carry in the Supreme Court decisions? One vote, one voice might seem like a drop in the ocean, but in the Supreme Court, it can be the deciding factor, the tipping point that shapes the destiny of a nation. Each decision, each ruling, is a brushstroke in the grand canvas of our history. These decisions determine our laws, our rights, and the very fabric of our society. Now imagine the immense power of a single vote in this context. It's like the final piece of a puzzle that completes the picture, or the last note of a symphony that brings harmony. It's fascinating, isn't it? The idea that a single vote can wield such influence. Today, we delve into the world of Supreme Court decisions where a single vote made all the difference. We start our journey in 1935 with the Schechter Poultry Corp v. United States case. This case involved a New York poultry slaughterhouse that had been charged with violating the National Industrial Recovery Act. The issue at hand was whether the federal government had the power to regulate the trade of chickens that had never crossed state lines. This case was significant as it challenged the boundaries of the Commerce Clause of the Constitution, which gives Congress the power to regulate commerce among the states. The Supreme Court, in a close decision, ruled that the federal government did not have the power to regulate the Schechter's intrastate commerce. This decision, hinging on a single vote, dealt a blow to President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal, leading to a rethinking of how far the government's power to regulate commerce could extend. Thus, a single vote set a precedent, shaping the future of American commercial law. Fast forward to 1954, we find ourselves in the midst of the Brown versus Board of Education case. A landmark moment in the struggle for civil rights, this case challenged the notion of separate but equal in public education. At its core was a little girl named Linda Brown who just wanted to attend the school closest to her home. The Supreme Court was tasked with deciding if segregating public schools based on race was indeed constitutional. The decision, made by a margin of a single vote, declared that racial segregation in public schools was inherently unequal, and thus unconstitutional. This verdict played a monumental role in the civil rights movement, sparking the beginning of an end to institutionalized racism in the United States. The ripple effects of this decision are felt even today, underscoring the profound impact of a single vote in the Supreme Court. A single vote, once again, managed to change the course of history. In 1973, another landmark case was decided by a single vote, Roe v. Wade. This decision held a magnifying glass over the debate on abortion rights in the United States. The case revolved around a Texas statute that made it a crime to perform an abortion unless a woman's life was at stake. The Supreme Court, with a one-vote margin, ruled that the statute violated a woman's constitutional right to privacy. This decision was groundbreaking. It sparked an ongoing nationwide dialogue about the extent of women's rights, particularly concerning their own bodies. Even today, over 5 decades later, the ripple effects of Roe v. Wade are evident. It continues to influence discussions, laws, and societal perspectives around women's rights and reproductive health. This case demonstrates the enduring power of a single vote in shaping societal norms. In 2008, the Supreme Court faced the District of Columbia v. Heller case. This case was a pivotal moment in the ongoing debate over gun control. It centered on the question, does the Second Amendment protect an individual's right to own a firearm, or is that right tied to service in a militia? The court's answer, by a razor-thin margin of 5-4, was a resounding affirmation of the individual's right to bear arms. This landmark ruling, decided by a single vote, solidified the interpretation that the Second Amendment guarantees an individual's right to own guns for self-defense. This decision has had far-reaching effects, shaping legislation, influencing public opinion, and setting a precedent for future court cases. It's a potent reminder of the power held by each vote in the Supreme Court. The influence of a single vote in this case continues to reverberate in our society. In 2015, the Supreme Court made another historic decision with a single vote in the Obergefell v. Hodges case. This case was a monumental stride in the fight for same-sex marriage rights. It all centered around a man named Jim Obergefell, who fought for his right to be recognized as the legal spouse of his late partner, John Arthur. This case brought to the forefront the issue of marriage equality, and the Supreme Court was left to decide whether states were obliged to recognize same-sex marriages lawfully performed out of state. The nation waited in anticipation as the justices deliberated. Ultimately, it was a split decision, 5-4, that tipped the scales. This single vote legalized same-sex marriage nationwide, ensuring that love won the day. It was a victory for the LGBTQ+ community, and a testament to how a single vote can change the lives of millions. Once more, a single vote played a crucial role in advancing civil rights. From 1935 to 2015, we've seen how a single vote in the Supreme Court can shape the course of history. In 1935, the Schechter-Poultry Corp v. United States case set the stage for the power of a single vote. The court's decision to strike down the National Industrial Recovery Act marked a turning point in the relationship between government and business, a balance that continues to shape our economy today. Then, in 1954, the Brown v. Board of Education case marked a significant stride towards racial equality. The Supreme Court, by a single vote margin, declared segregation in public schools unconstitutional, forever changing the landscape of American education. In 1973, the Roe v. Wade case took center stage. By a single vote, the Supreme Court recognized a woman's constitutional right to privacy extends to her decision to have an abortion. This ruling continues to be a cornerstone of debates surrounding reproductive rights. Fast forward to 2008, the District of Columbia v. Heller case saw a single vote affirming an individual's right to bear arms for self-defense within the home. This ruling reinforced the Second Amendment and continues to influence gun control discussions. Finally, in 2015, the Obergefell v. Hodges case saw a single vote bringing monumental change. By a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that same-sex couples have a constitutional right to marry, forever transforming the landscape of marriage equality. These cases, spanning 80 years, underscore the enduring influence of a single vote. Each decision, determined by a single vote, has shaped and reshaped the fabric of American society, impacting civil rights, privacy rights, gun control, and marriage equality. The power of a single vote has defined the course of history, setting legal precedents that continue to guide our nation. So the next time you wonder about the power of a single vote, remember these landmark Supreme Court cases.